That's what the story is of Waltzing Matilda? Dude, what is happening in Australia? That seems so fucking weird. I mean, I'm on board with like haunting my enemies permanently. Can you ask the boys if Kylie Minogue is the Queen of Australia? Kylie Minogue is not the Queen of Australia. I can say that with a certainty. Um, that's just, you know, she is the envoy of the gay delegation. Oh my god, my dad. Is he being what is happening? My dad is like texting me. Okay. Gonna be doing these early streams for you over there? Yes. I was shocked to find out from the stream yesterday that Kylie isn't big in America. Kylie Minogue is massive in America for homosexuals. I only know of Kylie Minogue because I'm Turkish, and she was very big in Turkey as well when she was first popping off. Especially for like millennial gays, Kylie Minogue is like literally an icon. I know this from my gay friends, my gay normie friends, who were telling me all about how Madonna brought up Kylie Minogue in one of her shows. Yes, by the way, Madonna still performs, and yes, by the way, people still go and watch her. The gays do. And apparently, it was like a very big moment for a lot of elderly millennial gays who lost their minds at the fact that Madonna brought on Kylie Minogue to perform. God, I am so tapped into homo culture. It's not even a meme, dude. Austin does not even know what these words mean, okay? Like Austin does not even know what I'm talking about. He has no idea how important it is that Kylie Minogue and Madonna perform together for the first time in decades, okay? He does not know that. He does not know any of this. It's called homo couture. Yeah. This is why it's like I can never be homophobic. Like I physically cannot be homophobic. When I know these words, when I can string the words Kylie Minogue and Madonna actually performed together for the first time, and this was a very important moment for a lot of the elderly millennial gays, you just know that like a man with this level of information is physically impossible to be a homophobic person. Anyway, it's like you're saying the gay shahada. Exactly. It is the gay shahada. Good morning. I have sandwiches and also coffee for you. Um, I have ham and cheese croissants. I have BLT with avocado, and I have like bacon, egg, and cheese in there. Just pick whichever one you want. You also locked all of us in because Alex was the only one who's. Well, when you lock the door, yeah, we don't. Alex doesn't have. No, no, I'm not eating. I got it for you guys. Alex doesn't, and he's the only one who is awake. So he came downstairs and he's like, he had to escape through the garage to get it. It's all good. Yeah. All right, let's get started on the UN Security Council vote, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and MBs. Let's do it. Wait, is the car supposed to come in like half an hour? At this point, Alex, is the car coming in half an hour? Why are we going so early? Is the car coming in half an hour? That's like insanely early. Okay. Okay. All right. I'm going to cram some news now.
This has now passed 14-1. The United States abstaining. Just take us through what we understand this resolution is about and why this one has passed, but the US's one on Friday didn't.
Well, the language has been changed from the one on...
There's not even 30 minutes news speed run. I have an hour in the car. I'll cover the news in the car. Okay? Yeah, we're Newsmaxxing. Of course, we're also 3-minute ad maxing at the top of the hour, so you should be subscribe maxing in order to avoid those ads at the top of the hour. Let's go.
Friday, the United States, of course, has abstained from it, although the language is actually stronger than the one that they put forward on Friday. But it is linked to the unconditional release of hostages, which I think would have been a deal breaker as far as the United States is concerned. But it's taken 5 months, Kamali, to get this far. You heard the round of applause in the chamber. Now, you should remember that this is legally binding, but when it comes to these kind of resolutions, it is difficult to legally enforce them. But it is calling for an immediate ceasefire for the rest of the month of Ramadan. There's about 2 weeks left from that. But we heard the reasons about why the United States abstained from their representative, Linda Thomas Greenfield. This is what she had to say.
We appreciated the willingness of members.
Yeah, they fucking abstain because they suck dick. Okay, that's why they're bad. They're bad guys, and they don't like good things, and they like bad things. That's why they abstain from it. That's the real reason. It's very simple.
Members of this council to take some of our edits and improve on this resolution. Still, certain key edits were ignored, including our request to add a condemnation of Hamas. And we did not agree with everything in the resolution. For that reason, we were unfortunately not able to vote yes. However, as I've said before, we fully support some of the critical objectives in this non-binding resolution. And we believe it was important for the council to speak out and make clear that our ceasefire any ceasefire must come with the release of all hostages.
Well, it certainly has significant moral weight as well on all parties in the conflict to bring about an end. Of course, negotiations have been going on in Qatar. The Israeli negotiating team came back over the weekend. They're saying that there is a 50-50 chance that a deal will be put in place. But of course, the ceasefire, the UN resolution, the weight really, the global consensus that this needs to come to a stop and build up to a more permanent ceasefire is becoming much greater. And that's because the humanitarian situation in Gaza is deteriorating all the time. The number of people who have been killed is rising astronomically. And also the UN is warning that...
I can't believe the anti-Semitism coming out of the United States Security Council. The UN Security Council is fucked up, boys. They did it again. They did it again. Saying, hey, Israel, cut it out. At least during Ramadan. Crazy stuff. Real big stuff coming out. I mean, the fact that the United States abstained from it is actually important instead of vetoing it, which is what they've been doing for the past 5 fucking months. I guess like it is now officially gotten to that point. Hey, maybe in another 5 months when we get like 60,000, maybe 100,000 dead Palestinian children, the United States will potentially go, hey, Israel, we actually think this is bad and wrong. Cut it out. We are no longer abstaining from a UN Security Council vote. We went from veto to abstain to full blown. Are you wearing that? That's insane. Oh, these are actually your pajamas? Oh, I thought you were wearing that to the fucking... Wait, where the fuck? That's crazy. Here, come. Show your gear. I don't know. I look at everything as jerry rigged. Look at everything is jerry rigged here. Cause like this. Cause I couldn't. Yeah. This is Alex's camera, I think, or yours. Oh, I have a full sandwich as well. You don't even need to have it. There's I bought heaps. I bought heaps of Sammys, mate. I bought heaps. A frozen ham sandwich? Here, I'll take off the noise.
An avocado for half my black.
We'll have a BLE. Oh, wait, that's yours.
That's bacon, egg, and
Ooh.
radish.
I bought a bunch, yeah. I bought like 2 of
Thank you.
almost everything. And cold brew as well.
You can stay. You can stay for longer.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
It's free from you. It's a better schedule as well. You finish at 3 p.m. And you got the whole day for honestly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get ready. You're probably leaving by the time I'm getting ready.
Yeah.
You guys going to the beach later? What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
We're gonna go snorkeling.
Snorkeling. Okay, well let me know. That'll be fun. I'll try and sky off of work. Not that that's on the stream, but anyway.
Alexa, what kind of marine life are you hoping to see show Hassan while snorkeling? First of all, they're still sleeping. Okay, chat. Let him go and do their thing. Let them go do their thing. Okay. But yeah, I will be snorkeling. That's what I'm gonna be doing. Okay, I'm gonna put the noise gate back on, and we're gonna continue with the regular old broadcast. Let's go.
That there is the imminent threat
of
starvation, particularly in the north of Gaza, unless a ceasefire comes in, and the amount of aid being delivered is not ramped up significantly.
Within the last hour, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said he will not be sending a delegation to Washington as a result of this vote. Well, standing by for us now in Jerusalem with a bit more on that is our senior reporter, Catherine Norris-Trent. Catherine, good to talk to you. What more can you tell us today about the Israeli reaction?
Hello there, Nadia. Well, Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister, is said to be furious that the US failed to veto this resolution calling for a ceasefire, and he acted quickly, immediately, pretty much putting out a statement saying that that delegation of senior Israeli officials, which had been requested by Joe Biden, the US president, to travel to Washington, D.C., to the White House for talks, to listen to the US proposals for an alternative to an all-out ground offensive in Rafah. That delegation won't be leaving, says Benjamin Netanyahu. He said that the U.S. decision not to veto this ceasefire...
He's going to kill the American delegation. He's like, we have decided that the American envoy is actually also working with Hamas, and we cannot allow that kind of thing to occur, so... we had to promptly and swiftly execute the American delegation at the UN for being a part of Hamas. My Benjamin Netanyahu kind of goes hard, I think, low-key. I think I do a decent Benjamin Netanyahu.
Oh, you mean... Oh, I thought you meant... Okay. I thought you were saying Benjamin Netanyahu goes hard.
No. His voice is very deep like this, but... I'm saying I think I do a decent job, like a decent Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah. You're also really good at copying his politics and, believing in his cause.
Yeah.
You do that really well.
Well, that too. I mean, obviously, the reason why I'm so good at imitating him is because I love him for, his genocide.
Yeah.
Like... There's no need. No, actually, I like him for everything else. Separate the art from the artist.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah. Benjamin Netanyahu, phenomenal at domestic politics, actually. The apartheid stuff is like one thing. Hating Palestinians is one thing. But, all the other stuff, he has great tax reform. Do Israelis even do domestic politics? I feel like everything is like, everything is geared around genocide. Like, I feel like the government literally is like, hey, by the way, we've decided to execute gays. And they'll be like, no, don't do that. But then also the next day they'll be like, oh, but the Palestinian gays are being executed too. So I guess we should focus on that, Because, they're very secular, but then psychopathic right-wingers will completely captivate the entire population by being like, hey, I know you guys fucking hate this shit. I know you guys hate how far right we are, but also think about how many Palestinians we're killing. You know what I mean? It's just how it is.
Which doesn't call first for a liberation of Israeli hostages, hurts Israel's war effort and contradicts the U.S. stance.
Yeah. It hurts Israel's war effort because I can't believe the UN didn't demand the hostage release from the hostage release that cannot logistically happen without a ceasefire. This is so stupid. A liberal Zionist concludes today was the day Netanyahu decided to lose the war. Shai Ben Ephraim says, American officials feel that Bibi is causing a diplomatic crisis intentionally. One said, a lot of that is self-defeating. The Prime Minister could have chosen a different course to align with the U.S. on the meaning of this resolution. He chose not to, apparently on political purposes. Regarding the meeting scheduled in Washington on the Rafah operation canceled by Netanyahu, an official said he was afraid he might offer something reasonable. He was afraid we might offer something reasonable. He would rather than a fight with us, even if it's not in Israel's interest. Israeli officials, meanwhile, told Channel 12 that canceling the meetings in D.C. is a miserable decision that will haunt us. Dude, Dude, I love that he's going after America. I kind of think it's dope.
But he's canceling a meeting.
No. I'm saying that he has openly and since day one been like, Joe Biden, I don't care that you bear hugged me. Fuck your mom. Joe Biden will come out and be like, no, we love a two-state, Jack. We got a Palestinian state.
Joe Biden calls him annoying in private or something. Well,
Whoa, dude. Are we allowed to say that? Is he allowed to say that? He's pretty crazy. He's been pretty crazy. No, what I mean is Joe Biden will come out and be like, listen, Jack, you can kill every Palestinian child, but one day there will be a two-state solution. And then Benjamin Netanyahu will be like, no, there won't be. The next day or 3 hours later. Bro, they had Anthony Blinken go to Israel to be like, do not invade Rafah. Do not invade Rafah. I'm telling you right now, you're out of your fucking mind. If you think you're going to invade Rafah and have this be like not a massive fuck up, you're insane. Don't do it. Israel, while he was in the meeting, took over a historic amount of hectares of Palestinian land. They seized like 800 hectares of Palestinian land while he was in the meeting. He got out of the meeting and they're like, what do you think about, your administration has said like settlements are bad. And while you were in this meeting, like they took over, the most amount of Palestinian land. And he was like, yeah, that's bad, I think. I don't really know. Like they're doing that on purpose. Like they're openly, Benjamin Netanyahu is openly saying like, I don't care about America. Like they're going to keep giving me money. They're going to keep giving me the guns.
Does Anthony Blinken care? Like
I think
it's a strange, I don't know.
I think there's a realpolitik of it where I do think that like Israel's actions of this magnitude is reflecting poorly on American power.
Right.
It shows like that we have no control over our own attack dog. You know what I mean? So, and I think that it definitely like it is moved beyond like, oh, this is really hard to like do PR around. Oh no, too many Palestinian children dead. Like that kind of looks bad. Like I don't think that's the point. I think there's a larger problem here, which is that the rest of the world is looking at America and America's rabid attack dog and going, "What the fuck?
Yeah,
you can't even rein your shit in. Like what's wrong with you? Why do you keep giving them guns?
Yeah.
Like why do you keep giving them more weapons as you simultaneously are saying like, don't fucking do this?" And I think that is the problem.
It's a hilarious situation. That's outside of all the death. It's just like they have no control.
Yeah, it's completely.
But they have to keep supplying.
Yeah. What happens if Israel refuses to abide? What's the potential for extending the ceasefire?
I don't think the UN does anything.
The UN doesn't do anything. It's just that like it adds another line of official pressure to Israel's actions.
Well, it just means UN is also Hamas, and that's it.
Well, first of all,
they already are.
Oh baby, that was established from the jump. Like this ain't news. You know what I'm saying? Like we been know that UN is Hamas. My favorite official, the UN envoy, Gilad Erdan, had said that sorry, I was just looking at my Twitter DMs because I don't have Twitter on my phone, so I just like that's the first time I actually end up seeing
When did you
Twitter.
Stop?
I think I literally DM'd you on Twitter like the first like a month ago, I think at this point.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's so much better for my brain to not be on it on my phone. Like I'm obviously always going to be on it for work, but like it just feels incredible.
Well, you're a genius. I got a notification the other day. It was like in a month, my phone sends me like my usage stats, and it said I used it for 2 hours while driving that month. I was like, that's impossible. I never drive.
You just revealed you committed a crime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arrest them, officers. Constable, get him. Oh no.
That's all he said.
He did the constable face. He will never be arrested.
Yeah. They're like, oh, it's one of us.
Yeah.
Carry on, sir.
Federbich's tweet is completely unhinged. He's a foreign actor at this point. Check him PC. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with that guy's brain. Well, we do know what's wrong with his brain, like literally. but like he got the one specific stroke that makes you like insanely pro-Israel. That's what happened. They hit him with the heart attack gun, and my boy stroked out and was like so unimaginably pro-Israel after that. I don't know what happened.
That's been there at the United Nations Security Council and with regard to Israel since the beginning of this war. Netanyahu said that this was a clear retreat. The US has since hit back and denied that, saying this does not represent a policy shift. But in some of the words that Netanyahu's been putting out already since this UN vote, you can see just how dismayed, angry he is.
Smoked that shit,
he says
dude.
it gives Hamas hope that international pressure will allow for a ceasefire without the release of Israel's abductees. So it's just laying bare once again the rift between the Biden administration and the current Israeli government.
Joining us now to talk about Trump's deadline in New York tomorrow and much more, New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a Democrat. Congresswoman, thanks for joining us. So 5 years ago, as a brand new member of the House of Representatives, you grilled Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen, about whether Mr. Trump had lied about his finances for tax purposes. Attorney General of New York, Letitia James, says that testimony directly led to her office's fraud investigation.
I don't care about this shit. Unless, like, where's the actual Gaza stuff? Because they hyped this shit up like she's talking about Gaza, which she did. She called it a genocide.
Whoa, that's so brave.
I mean, it is, for American politics,
yeah,
it's pretty fucking brave, to be fair. Like, bro, in America, when you say that, they kill you. They don't kill you, but it is low-key kind of wild. I'm not lying, I just talked to my therapist. She finally convinced me to delete X. I'm less depressed now. Congratulations. All right. Can you hit him with some fucking fat beats while this goes on? While I go poop. I need to poop. I need to poo.
Oh, you're gonna poo.
Well, I need to not poo, but like I need to get ready.
Oh shit. I'm not going like this.
No, you're going like that. Okay, we'll do.
We'll take
In the
shifts.
Republican conference.
You know how
After
to do it,
passing
right?
the
You can,
government
like,
funding bill
go to full
this week
screen
on
by
Friday.
clicking this if you want.
Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor
Within the last hour, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said,
How did I even do that?
I don't even
that?
know,
I
bro.
pressed this.
Oh, you went back.
Oh.
joining us now to talk about
now
Trump's deadline, who looks at what's going on with Donald.
And I actually,
Dude, who gives a fuck about this shit?
I think that
Or
Oh, here.
you gave a very forceful speech on the House floor Friday about the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. You called on President Biden to cut off U.S. military aid to Israel. I think we have a clip of part of what you said. Let's roll that.
If you want to know what an unfolding genocide looks like, open your eyes. It looks like the forced famine of 1.1 million innocents. We must write our story in this moment of what it means and who we are as Americans. And our story must be not that we were good men who did nothing.
Now, clearly,
Alexis
not
Stream.
enough aid
Hell
is
yeah.
getting in. Clearly, the conditions for the Palestinian people are horrific and much more needs
See
to
my
be
big
done.
iron cover.
Genocide
That was completely AI.
is a word.
And yeah, I don't actually know how to sing or play guitar. We just did the kind of AI thing that people do for Hassan. I just did it for I did a thing video. Technology's getting great. I can explain the song lyrics in Waltzing Matilda. I can. It's very, very interesting. Maybe it's interesting. You used to have back in the day, people like trying to get apprenticeships, like trying to learn a trade, but like everyone was living in weird little like backwater settlements. So there was nowhere to go. Like if you wanted to learn to like shear sheep, you couldn't learn it unless you like traveled to a place where they were doing it and then like learn your trade there. So they did this thing called Waltzing Matilda, and Matilda was the name of their like sleeping bag. And they'd kind of like dance around the country with their sleeping bag, and it was called Matilda. It's kind of like the thing they cuddle every night. And it's also called Matilda because like a lot of the settlers at that time were German, which I didn't know about either. And yeah, so he danced around the countryside with his sleeping bag until he found an appropriate master to teach him his trade. But then, I guess, in the song, he's kind of going around the countryside and he's hungry and he steals someone's sheep. And then some like countryside police come and catch him and he jumps in the river and drowns because he doesn't want to go to jail. And that was going to be our national anthem. It's a beautiful story. It makes me cry every time. I'm glad I was sleeping when Hassan played it. What is proto body pillows? Yeah, yeah. They're actually the original Australians were all like weebs. Does Hassan snore? I don't know. He was on the other side of the house in my room, so I think it's like inaudible. Oh, Yugoslavia forever. Yeah. Someone was telling me about this the other day, and I've never seen it. Wake Wilder. How do I? Oh man, this is so hard. Why would you make this? What is this?
In the heart of Europe, a nation stood strong, Yugoslavia. Under leadership of a visionary man, Joseph Tito, the leader of our...
I mean, I appreciate the sentiment and the work that this man's done, and he's praising the right people, but like Yugoslavia had fucking amazing music. We didn't we didn't need the we didn't need the supplemental content. But it's, I mean, look, I'm very. It's a very nice thing for him to do.
Yugoslavia forever, our spirit never dies. In our hearts we hold the memories, reaching for the skies. Tito's legacy lives on in every heart and soul. United we stand as one nation. Hey, yeah. By my brotherhood, diversity embraced, with unity and peace, we found our grace. From Slovenia to Macedonia, Bosnia to Serbia, together we fight, no obstacle we couldn't sever. In the heart of Europe, a nation stood strong, Yugoslavia.
It's so long. How is it 4.5 minutes? Oh my god, the fucking song lasted longer than Yugoslavia did. This is fucking crazy.
Could belong under the leadership of a visionary man, Joseph Tito, the leader of our land. Yugoslavia forever, our spirit never dies. In our hearts we hold the
This is pre-AI Yugoslav music, much better. No, they liked it. Did they like it?
I apologize for what this demon did. I thought he would have just let the fucking... I thought he would have just... You literally watched like 3 seconds of the AOC video and immediately swapped it over to Yugoslavian music.
No, chat. I did what chat wanted.
Okay.
I listened to these people unlike you. They told me what to do, and I said, yes, you guys are completely right.
Yeah, okay, first of all, chat, one thing you need to learn about Twitch streaming is that chat doesn't know what's best for chat. Like, they think, oftentimes they'll have an idea in their heads about something being a phenomenal decision, okay? And they are almost always wrong. This is a constant. Chat doesn't know what's best for itself. So the streamer dictates what's best for chat. That's number one. Someone linked him Wake's Yugoslavia Forever song. Yeah, I probably, that's what it is. That's what happened, I suspect. Anyway, regardless, I have, as an Albanian whose parents were born in Yugoslavia, this song jives with my childhood memories, spending my summers visiting. I also prefer the Yugoslavia versus saying Northern Macedonia. Hearing you guys say it makes me feel nostalgic.
Saying what? Yugoslavia.
Yugoslavia. He feels nostalgic.
Yeah, it's beautiful. That's really nice.
Anyway.
That's beautiful. But what are we meant to say?
North Macedonia? Anyway, Number 2, there's an ad break that's never actually at the top of the hour. It's actually middle of the street. Yeah, well, I already ran that. It was not linked. Someone just mentioned it, and he looked it up himself. Okay, so no one linked it even. Okay, regardless.
Oh yeah, someone mentioned it as well. It's a.
Okay, play this. Let me play this while I also. Wait. Oh, you have. No, where's my bag? Okay. I have to set this up as well. While this plays, while I give you some commentary, and then we'll keep doing political commentary and like news commentary in the car ride over to the place that we're going to before we go into the animal fun, animal touching, animal petting part of the stream.
Word that has serious and specific connotations and allegations. It's defined by the intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial, or religious group. So you, just to clarify here, you believe the Israeli military, the Israeli government are actively trying, they intend to destroy the Palestinian people, and not that what's happening is horrible, but it's happening because Israel is going after the terrorists of Hamas who attacked them on October 7th, and Hamas embeds within the civilian population?
Well, Jake, you're absolutely right. This word is extremely serious. It's one that's taken with extraordinary gravity. And to me, the threshold of intent is a high one. It is a serious one and is not one that is made lightly. However, when we look at the precipice of what is happening with a forced famine of 1.1 million Gazans, where multiple governments, NGOs, and even officials within the United States State Department have stated themselves plainly that the Israeli government and leaders in the Israeli government are intentionally denying, blocking, and slow walking this aid and are precipitating a mass famine. I believe we have crossed the threshold of intent. It is horrific. I think it is extremely clear and it is extremely important that all people understand the difference between people and their governments, Israelis and the Israeli government, Palestinians from Hamas. But what we are seeing here, I think, with a forced famine is beyond our ability to deny or explain away. There is no targeting of Hamas in precipitating a mass famine of 1 million people, half of whom are children.
So I asked Israeli officials about your speech, and they say, we are allowing hundreds of aid trucks into Gaza every single day. They're trying to increase those numbers. They have to inspect the cargo to make sure no weapons are getting in, weapons that would be used by Hamas against the people of Israel. Israeli officials also argue this war could end tomorrow if Hamas freed the hostages and laid down the arms. Do you disagree?
I do disagree, because when we are talking about famine, the actions of Hamas should not be tied to whether a 3-year-old can eat. The actions of Hamas do not justify forcing thousands, hundreds of thousands of people to eat grass as their bodies consume themselves. We and the Israeli government has a right to go after Hamas. But we are talking about a population of millions of innocent Palestinians. We are talking about collective punishment, which is injustifiable. And the excuses that the Israeli government is giving about what they are and are not allowing simply do not square with what the UK government is stating, with what international aid organizations are stating, and even what our own State Department officials are stating, which is that they are not allowing aid to go through. When they're talking about inspections, we're talking about U.S. aid, the United States aid. And so I think that if we are to operate as allies, then we must operate in good faith to uphold the principles of democracy, which includes respect for human rights, and also proving the value of our democracy, which is that we are different than authoritarian, and we are different from other types of regimes with no regard for innocent people.
Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, thank you for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, if you're just joining us right now, we have some breaking news to report out of New York. This is where a state appeals court judge has just granted Trump's request to stay the $464 million judgment in his New York civil fraud case. The court has granted him 10 days to pay a reduced bond of $175 million.
And our Errol Barnett is joining us now. He's outside the Manhattan courtroom covering this hearing for us. Errol, update us with all that you know.
Well, Vlad and Chanel, this is a significant win, you could call it, for former President Trump, although it just grants him a bit more breathing room and it reduces the amount of money he would need to put up as he continues to insist that he's innocent. Just to recap for everyone, this is the civil fraud trial which claimed that the Trump Organization, that's Donald Trump, his sons, Eric and Don Jr., as well as Alan Weisselberg and others, inaccurately and fraudulently submitted documents, banking statements as it relates to Donald Trump's net worth and the value of his properties. We all know Trump Tower. It includes 40 Wall Street and many others as well. Now, a judge already ruled that over the course of many years, Trump and his associates had overestimated their value by the billions, almost $2 billion. And in the judgment was that former President Trump had to pay at least $460 million by today in order to continue his appeal. Now, what's just happened here in the last few moments is that a New York appeals court has granted Trump's request to stay that judgment, meaning pause it, put it on hold as he continues, and he's already communicated this publicly, to struggle to get the cash on hand or to get surety companies which facilitate getting the cash on hand for him. This New York appeals court has reduced the amount that Trump would need to put up from $464 million down to $175 million, and they've given him now a week plus 10 more days to give that money over to the state effectively as he continues his appeal. So all of that unfolding in just the last few minutes, and separately behind me, the courthouse behind me, is where a judge is listening to both legal teams as it relates to a hush money payment from Donald Trump to a pornographic actress before the 2016 election. So that's what's just unfolded here, Vlad and Chanel, in just the last few minutes.
All right, Errol Barnett for us live in Lower Manhattan, where you are covering that hush money case. Former president is in Lower Manhattan this morning. Errol, we expect to see him a little bit later when he comes out. I'm sure he will have words for the camera, and obviously we will bring that to you live right here at CBS News.
Before a lot of them come in, which frankly always makes me happy. So, a lot of things happened today. This is all about election interference. This is all Biden-run things, meaning Biden and his thugs, because I don't know if he knows he's alive. And it's a shame. It's a shame what's happening to our country. This is election interference. They are doing things that have never been done in this country before. We've never had anything like it, certainly not at this level, but we've really had nothing like it that I've been able to find. It does happen a lot in third world countries, banana republics. If you look at what we just left, you have a case which they're dying to get this thing started. The judge cannot go faster. He wants to get it started so badly. And there's tremendous corruption. You have Pomerantz, Mark Pomerantz. He was Hillary Clinton's lawyer, or Democrat National Committee's lawyer. He worked in Paul Weiss. He walked in and he took over the district attorney's office.
Wait, really? Dude, Alex said that this is a good shirt to wear to the reptile park, Chad. I was gonna actually change.
I think some of the staff might be like kind of
gross.
Slightly just bogan hicks. They'll be like, oh yeah, sick.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, because some of them will be farmers, and farmers love their guns.
Dude, let's go.
Oh, the liberal cum bit though.
Like, you have liberals here, but they're the right wingers here.
Yeah, exactly. So they're
which
gonna
is
be confused by that shirt.
Yeah, they don't understand that. Like when I say liberal cum, I'm talking about like libtards.
Yeah, exactly.
And not like. Well, I guess do the Hicks like the liberals here?
No,
probably
not.
not.
They like they're called the National.
Yeah, I was gonna say they probably like the fascist party.
Yeah.
So that's like, you know.
And they hate the Greens because they don't allow them to cut down, trees on their property.
I would hate them too, to be honest. That seems awful. How dare they do that?
There was actually a farmer that these rangers came around because he was cutting down trees, and he shot them.
What?
Yeah.
He shot the...
I think this was ages ago.
That's insane. I am going to keep running the playlist chat, by the way, while we go, and I'm going to keep... Oh, shit. What the fuck? This is the wrong thing. I'm going to keep running the playlist while we go. What is happening? Okay, there it is. What camera is that? This camera is Alex's camera. I have to put my socks on real quick, which is so funny because like you're over here holding the camera.
Nobody's ever seen anything like that.
But anyway, I'll
to prosecute
like
Trump.
This.
And then they wouldn't do what he wanted to do, and he goes out and he writes a book.
You don't need to hold it anymore.
Long before any decisions were made, he writes a book about it. And the book gets published, and everybody's reading his book. And the judge said there's nothing wrong with that. And if you look at Bragg had a fit over that. Bragg said this trial is now dead. We can't do the trial. Well, that was one of the problems, and the judge should have allowed that to happen. And you had other instances like Colangelo. Colangelo is a radical left from the DOJ who was put into the state working with Letitia James, and then was put into the district attorney's office to run the trial against Trump. And that was done by Biden and his thugs also, because they can't win an election because of the borders, because of energy prices, because of inflation, because of Afghanistan, the worst and most embarrassing day in the history of our country. He can't win because of Russia, because of all the problems, because of Ukraine being attacked by Russia. And he can't win because of the October 7th attack of Israel, which he should have never allowed to happen. Would have never happened if I were president. Ukraine would have never been attacked if I was president. And you wouldn't have inflation if I was president. We didn't have inflation. So all of these things, so what they do is they do election interference, which is court cases, and let's try and tie him up, and let's take as much of his money as possible. I respect the appellate division for substantially reducing that ridiculous amount of money that was put on by a corrupt judge named Engoron. He ought to be looked at, seriously looked at, especially what he did with valuations. He's the one, he's a fraudulent valuator, where he values Mar-a-Lago at $18 million, and people say it's worth 50 to 100 times that much, the biggest experts in the business. So he ought to be looked at, and James ought to be looked at, because she tried to get him. She's like the puppet master of the judge. And, you know, our state, this state, is losing tremendous prestige. It's losing its companies. It's losing its people. They're fleeing, and violent crime is flourishing. And we can't have that. We can't have that. No city should have that. And it's happening in other cities, but not with the lawfare. The lawfare that they're doing is incredible. So they could have done this in the case of the trial that we just left, one of the many that are going. Every single one of them is run by Biden and his thugs. It's the only way they think they can get elected. And I think so far it's backfiring, because the people of this country understand it. It's backfiring. But they're being run, and they're running all of these different cases. So ridiculous, the cases. Every one of them is ridiculous. You take a look at any one of them, and you say any one of them, it wouldn't make any difference. This is all weaponization of DOJ and FBI. They raided my house in violation of a thing called the Fourth Amendment. Not allowed to do that. They raided my house in Florida, Mar-a-Lago. No notice, no nothing. They raided it. I can't believe it. Nobody can believe it. And we'll see how that all works out in the end. But it's illegal what they're doing. It's criminal what they're doing. And it's never been done before in this country. You can't have an election in the middle of a political season. We just had Super Tuesday, and we had a Tuesday after a Tuesday already, and we had Louisiana the other day, a couple of days ago, and we won in a record number, the highest number ever recorded. But we're in the middle of an election right now, and we're fighting crooked Joe Biden, who's the worst president in the history of our country, by far, who's let this country go to hell. The borders, millions and millions of people coming in from prisons, from mental institutions. They're terrorists. Many people coming in from prisons and mental institutions. Think of it. And terrorists are coming into our country. And this guy's just letting them come in by the millions. I think we have 15 million people already. People don't say that. I say it. And I'll bet I'm right, too. So we're going through this weaponization of our government to try and knock out somebody's political opponent. And so far, based on the polls, it's not working at all. The people understand it. We have a man who just ruled he'd like the trial to start in 21 days or something. And I don't know how you can have a trial that's going on right in the middle of an election. Not fair. Not fair. It's not fair at all. He knows that, too. He's a Democrat judge. He wants to do that because they're all trying to damage Trump as much as possible. It's having the reverse effect, but maybe someday it won't. I don't know. But it's having the reverse effect. It's a terrible, terrible precedent, a terrible thing to do. They could have started this when I left office. You could have gone back 3 years, more than that. When I left office, all of these things could have been started so we wouldn't be quibbling over starting this week or that week or 2 days or 3 days. It wouldn't have mattered. This thing would have been over 2 years ago. They could have started. They should have never started because there's no case. If you read Andy McCarthy's piece, if you read Jonathan Turley's piece, if you read legal scholars all over the world, they say this DA case is a hoax and it's something that shouldn't have. It's not even a crime. They say there's no crime, and there is no crime. So I just say it's a sad day for this country when you have something like this. And remember the words, should have been started 3 years ago if they were going to start it at all. And then you wouldn't be quibbling over what week it's going to end, days. They're quibbling over days and hours. They wouldn't be quibbling at all. They never started it. And you know why they didn't start it? Because they didn't know I'd be running, and they didn't know how well I'd do. And if I were not running, or if I were doing poorly like everyone else has done, because they're all gone, they're all knocked out except for crooked Joe Biden. If I were doing poorly, this wouldn't be happening. None of these trials would have been happening. If I wasn't running, they wouldn't be happening. So it's a sad day in our country in many respects. But the good day is that the appellate division was fair. It's a lot of money still, but the judge is corrupt, in my opinion. He's the most overturned judge. He's been overturned 5 times in this case alone. He ruled against me before he even knew anything about the case. He ruled against me. The whole case was all about damages, and there were no damages. And perhaps you'll get him to tell you about what took place in terms of a settlement negotiation, because those weren't the numbers he was discussing. Those weren't the numbers. It's a disgrace what's happening in our country, and we have to get our country back, and we're going to get our country back. That's what's going to happen. November 5th, I believe, will be the most important day in the history of our country. We'll get these people out of there, and we'll seal up the borders, and we'll, as I say, drill, baby, drill. We'll be drilling. We'll get energy costs down. We'll get rid of the ridiculous electric car mandate, so nobody's ever heard of anything so foolish and so stupid. And we'll bring crime back to law and order. We're going to get those words law and order back, because our cities are a disaster. Greatly respect the decision of the appellate division, and we will abide by that. We'll put up cash or bond very quickly, securities, cash or bond, whatever it is. We'll put it up very quickly, and we'll win the case. Todd, maybe I'll have Todd say a couple of words, and then I'll have any questions or anything you want to ask. Okay, Todd, wherever you may be, please.
Thank you, President Trump. So, as we said in court today, we very much believe that starting this trial in April, or even starting this trial at any point before the election, is completely unfair to President Trump. It's completely unfair to the American people who are evaluating who they want to be the next president. And we are going to continue to fight. We're going to continue to do everything that we can to defend President Trump in that courtroom. And like we said today, we believe that we have a tremendous amount of information now in our hands to help us do that. And in any event, we certainly feel as if the date that Judge Merchan held today, April 15th, is not a date we should go to trial, and we're going to continue to fight.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
New details about the terrorist massacre at a concert outside Moscow. Our chief global affairs anchor, Martha Raddatz, is tracking this for us.
This morning, the horrific toll of the mass shooting evident at the smoldering scene of Russia's deadliest attack in decades. More than 135 men, women, and children slaughtered, hundreds more injured. It was Friday evening in Moscow when 4 ISIS-K terrorists armed with automatic weapons shot their way into a concert hall at a shopping complex. The audience inside was just waiting for the rock band to begin when gunfire ripped through the hall. All the while, hearing the relentless, terrifying burst of automatic weapons fire. An eyewitness saying the men fired directly into the crowd, face to face. Another witness saying when the shooting was over, the ISIS-K gunmen hurled explosives as they fled. Within minutes, black smoke and flames pouring from the facility, trapping many inside and caving in the roof. Russia saying they captured and charged these men with the shooting, one clearly bloodied and beaten, with reports of torture as well. Russian President Vladimir Putin claiming without evidence that the men were headed to Ukraine. He never mentioned ISIS-K despite its claim of responsibility. The U.S. confirming the attack was carried out by the Islamic extremists as well. White House officials saying they had warned the Russians of an imminent risk of an ISIS-K attack just 2 weeks ago, an attack they said could specifically target a concert hall. Instead of heeding the warning, Putin said the U.S. was trying to blackmail Russia.
That information was not only passed to the Russian government, it was made public as well. ISIS-K is based in Afghanistan and is seeking revenge against Russia for its involvement in the war in Syria and elsewhere. Also this morning, in the wake of this attack, France has raised its national security alert system to its highest level. Michael?
Yeah, the world is on alert, Martha. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.
Former Republican National Committee Chair Ronna McDaniel made her...
Damn, this guy's good.